I was like, oh, I don't know if it's really working very good, so I walked to the back of the bus, because this is right next to me at the front. Oh man, it was like freaking 5 degrees warmer back there. Hello, and welcome to, well, Carlin's Worlds. Yeah, that should work. I'm a wanderer, a tinkerer, sometimes a nomad, a military veteran. I do things differently. There will be tinkering. I have a motorcycle, a truck, and a school bus. I live off-grid, so there will be some solar, batteries, inverters, and maybe even some wind. It blows. And that's all I can fit into about 30 seconds. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Cool. On with the show already. This might be the coolest thing I've ever done. Not quite, but it's close. Alright, so what I've got, aside from a wet spot on the floor, a little tiny 12-volt water pump that is mostly spraying water onto this swamp cooler media that I bought. I've been using the swamp cooler media for, I don't know, maybe a month now. And I bought the pump, but then I forgot to buy tubing, so I finally got the tubing. I bought like a freaking 100 feet of tubing, and I think I've got about, 25 feet of this blue stuff. And then behind it, just a regular box fan. Let's kick that up a little bit. And what I'm hoping is that I'm keeping the water on the blue thing and not getting to the motor of the fan, but so far I haven't died, so that's a good sign. This one is a troublemaker, but the other ones are doing what they should. It's mostly just missing on that one, so I'm trying to get it to twist back a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't want to do it. But I'm definitely feeling a cooling effect, so that part's working. But I've been sitting here, it's like a freaking 104 degrees in here. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. So what I did, I started with a little tiny drill bit, and that was useless. So this is, I don't know, 3/16 maybe? It's pretty good size. No. It's a pretty good size hole. I don't want to have back pressure, because this isn't a high pressure pump. It's more of a high volume pump. So all we need to do is soak this media, and then everything else will work after that. So once I got a hole, I can fish the zip ties through. You know, tool of choice for just about everything out here. Zip ties and duct tape. If one doesn't work, the other one usually does. That'll hold it in place. Yeah, that'll work. And then for the end of the tubing, I just folded it back and zip tied it. That seems to be about as good as anything. So, and to power the pump, I'm just using a 12-volt drill battery, same as this one, easily recharged. For now, it's simple. I don't honestly know how much longer I'm going to have hot weather here. I mean, it's the desert, but I've had a few days already that were in the 90s. You know, right now it's 103. It was 104 and a half, so I've dropped it 1.5 degrees already in here. That feels like a lot when you're right in the middle of it. And what I've been doing, I just go outside, hit one of the rain barrels, bring in a couple gallons of water, dump it in the reservoir. The reservoir is just a, let's get a shot of this. It's just an old storage tote. And then I built a little bit of a frame just to put the fan on so it wouldn't fall in. And so the frame is sitting on top of the tote. The fan is screwed to the frame. So it just kind of sits there. I can take it off pretty easy. And I just got a few inches of water in the bottom. I've noticed if I run this for a while, and I was using that just to scoop the water, and I would just sit there and scoop it for a while, get the mat nice and wet, And then I could let it run for half an hour or so, and then eventually it'd start like, yeah, it's not working very good, so then I'd sit there and scoop it for a while again. This should run, continuously then. Because as the mat gets nice and wet, it just runs down and drips off the bottom. I don't think I can get it too wet, it's just a matter of getting it wet enough. At some point I might think, maybe I got too much water, not enough water. Because right now it's just, hardwired to the battery. I've got some double-ended spade terminals on the battery that I can clip my alligator clips to, and that's all I'm doing. Alright. Proof of concept at this point, but the other thing I'm considering is making a smaller version for one of these fans, just because it would be smaller. And then I could put that fan and the yellow bucket up there together. And Instructables I saw, in fact it was funny because the review for this little pump referenced the other guy on Instructables that made one also, and so two guys both made the same idea, one guy copied the other guy, I guess. It just proves it works. Now that pump was, I don't know, 10 bucks, something like that on Amazon. Might have been 20 bucks, I don't know. I don't have really long-term expectations of that thing working. I just figure it's a good start, and then I'll see how it goes from there. If it reduces the suffering in here a little bit, I'm all for it, kind of a thing. And it's just, it's a quiet little trickle in the background. I don't really hear it. It sounds nice, running water in the desert, kind of a thing. I think it's working great. It's just running down into the mat and recirculating. That's pretty much what a big swamp cooler would do anyway. Feels nice. Okay, so the one on Instructables, he went a little bit different way. Started with a big bucket, had a lid for the bucket, had a computer case fan pulling air out of the bucket. The bucket was full of water. He drilled holes in the side of the bucket all the way around that air would come in. The media, like this, was all the way around, vertical on the sides of the bucket. And then he did the tubing trick sort of like this with a little pump, and it went all the way around the top of the tubing. The tubing went all the way around the top of the media and ran down through the media. And the idea was the little computer case fan blew air through a piece of ducting. The one that I saw, he was using it for camping. So he had the bucket sitting outside full of water. The air duct went into the tent and cooled down the inside of the tent. That's pretty clever, really. This was just a lot simpler, and it takes up a little bit of room in the aisle, but when I'm not using it, I just push it over a little bit, and I got it sitting right next to me. I think we're great. Let's see, I'm down 2 degrees already since I started. From 104.5 to 102.7, so almost 2 degrees. And it'll just continue to drop. I've done this a few times already, and this way, the little pump just means that I don't have to keep reaching over there to dip water on it. But that actually worked pretty well. I was completely okay with that. At the moment, the pump is just in there floating. All my battery connections are open. Nothing is taped, nothing is heat shrinked, it's just ghetto, but it's working. I like the fact that it's on the box fan, and I don't particularly like this box fan, so this is a good use for it. And it's got lots of surface area. I was like, I don't know if it's really working very good, so I walked to the back of the bus, because this is right next to me at the front. Oh man, it was like freaking 5 degrees warmer back there. I mean, you just walked, it's like, oh, yeah, it's definitely working. So. Well, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that should work. Cool. I do things differently. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Thank you so much for watching.